Thinking of Encino as a place to call home? This video is for you. Today, we'll start our exploration with a few of its notable subdivisions and then check out local amenities. Encino has one of LA's biggest and best parks too, a beloved area perfect for enjoying the famous SoCal weather. As a bonus, I'll reveal some hidden gems about the recreation scene here too. Some niche sporting facilities that are super uncommon in big cities. If you're thinking about living in Encino, you're gonna wanna stick around. If you're new here, my name is Tony and I make videos about beautiful Los Angeles, its real estate, and its lifestyle. I'm also the founder of Ruby Home Luxury Real Estate. So if you have any questions about buying or selling, feel free to reach out anytime. With that, let's go. Encino sits in the central southern portion of the San Fernando Valley, bordered by Tarzana to the west, Sherman Oaks to the east, and Mulholland Drive to the south, which marks the top of the Santa Monica Mountains. Broadly, Encino can be thought of as two major areas, north of Ventura and south of Ventura Boulevard. We'll visit two neighborhoods today that sit north of the boulevard, Encino Village and Amestoy Estates. Then we'll move south of the boulevard to Rancho Estates, Royal Oaks, and Royal Oaks Colony. At first glance, Encino might seem like just another suburban neighborhood in the valley, but in a minute we'll check out one thing that really separates Encino from the rest of LA, the massive Sepulveda Basin Recreation Area. Encino offers an upscale lifestyle with wide streets, mature trees, and a strong sense of community. I think of it as the quiet luxury Los Angeles neighborhood, and here's what I mean. Encino offers a more discreet kind of wealth. Properties here are characterized by large lots, more space, and newer homes. Encino feels more suburban and secluded, which appeals to buyers who want privacy and room to spread out. The real estate here, which we'll cover in greater detail in a minute, is gaining prestige with newer spec homes and some ultra-luxury builds rivaling Beverly Hills. Historically, Encino didn't have the same celebrity cachet as next-door Studio City, but that's changing with recent high-end development. One key takeaway, buyers who prioritize space, quiet, and newer construction often end up in Encino, even if it's less trendy. It appeals to mid-career professionals, celebrities, entertainment execs, and all kinds of folks whose careers have been fruitful enough to enjoy the upscale vibe going on here. Here's something I hear from clients all the time. They're shocked at how verdant Encino is. It's got tons of tree-lined streets. In fact, many of its neighborhoods has a canopy that provides a lot of much-needed shade on hot summer days, which are quite prevalent in the valley. What's more, Encino has some of the most beautiful and expansive parkland in the entire valley, which we'll take a close look at in just a minute. Let's start by looking at some of the notable Encino neighborhoods, and we'll start north of Ventura. If you've seen my videos about LA neighborhoods that sit in the northern slopes of the Santa Monica Mountains, like Studio City, Sherman Oaks, Tarzana, and Woodland Hills, you already know that the 101 freeway and Ventura Boulevard cut across each on an east-west axis. Ventura Boulevard tends to be a defining feature, a marker that typically divides these communities into more affordable areas north and luxury homes to the south. But there's an exception in Encino to this rule that I'll show you in a second. Let's start with Encino Village, a typical north of the boulevard neighborhood. Encino Village sits near Balboa Park and Sepulveda Basin. It's a collection of charming mid-century homes that were mostly built in the 1950s and 60s, when the San Fernando Valley area especially exploded with home construction to support the housing demand from returning World War II service members. Just like other north of the boulevard properties in the other valley neighborhoods I mentioned, homes in this part of Encino are generally more modest and start around 1,200 square feet. Updated and expanded properties might go up to 4,000 square feet. In either case, this area is popular thanks to its quieter streets, proximity to parks, and access to some great schools. If you're someone who values a friendly neighborhood feel, you know, where people walk their dogs and say hello, this could be your spot. Next up, Amestoy Estates, named after a Basque sheep herder who became one of the largest wool producers in Southern California in the 1860s. In 1891, just days after purchasing the roughly 4,500-acre Ranchos Los Encinos, originally a 19th century Spanish land grant, he died. I call this historic neighborhood the rule breaker neighborhood of the valley. That's because most luxury homes in the neighborhoods I mentioned, like Studio City and Sherman Oaks, sit south of Ventura Boulevard, but Amestoy Estates breaks the rule because it is a very nice luxury neighborhood that sits north of Ventura. Here you will find large lots, mature trees, and homes that blend old world charm with modern touches. The streets here are wide, quiet, and shaded, and driving through it gives you a sense of what the San Fernando Valley might have felt like 50 years ago. So if you value space and privacy, but still want to be in the heart of it all, this area really delivers. Now let's head south of Ventura. When locals say they live south of the boulevard, it's often said with a sense of pride. The areas south of Ventura Boulevard in Encino, aka Encino Hills, are considered more desirable, offering a quieter, more upscale living environment. This is where you'll find the most prestigious real estate in Encino, estates tucked into the northern slopes of the Santa Monica Mountains, and winding driveways leading to architectural homes with sweeping views of the valley. Many properties here have tennis courts and guest houses. Most have pools. Rancho Estates in Encino sits just north of Ventura Boulevard. This neighborhood offers a mix of mid-century modern and contemporary estates, often behind hedges and private gates. Homes here range from 710 feet to over 26,000 square feet. The southern end of the neighborhood abuts Encino Reservoir. And a quick note, the reservoir is not meant for recreation. That means no hiking around the reservoir and certainly no swimming on it. Two notable Encino Hills neighborhoods abut Sherman Oaks near the 405 freeway. The first is Royal Oaks, a neighborhood that is known for luxurious homes, tree-lined streets, and proximity to upscale amenities. The neighborhood's elevated position gives properties here killer views of the San Fernando Valley, enhancing the outdoor living experience. The area has attracted several high-profile individuals and homes featured in Architectural Digest. Royal Oaks is a showcase of architectural diversity from mid-century modern to contemporary estates, reflecting the neighborhood's appeal to discerning homeowners. There are several gated properties and private estates that contribute to the area's exclusivity and appeal. In fact, the most coveted gated community in Encino sits within Royal Oaks. It's Royal Oaks Colony, an exclusive guard-gated enclave featuring 51 luxury residences. Homes here range from around 4,000 square feet to over 11,000 square feet. By the way, if you like getting the inside track on what it's really like to live, work, and buy a home in LA, tap that subscribe button. I've got plenty more coming your way. Now let's talk about one of Encino's biggest assets, outdoor spaces. Encino is top-notch for active living in LA. While there are plenty of places around town where you can hike or bike, Encino has the Sepulveda Basin Recreation Area, a 2,000-acre park offering a 9-mile bike loop and plenty of paths, perfect for walkers, joggers, and cycling enthusiasts. The paths connect to various playing fields and even a wildlife reserve. There are numerous ball fields for baseball, softball, and soccer. In fact, weekends here buzz with thousands of players for league games and matches. For those who enjoy hitting the links, there are two golf courses here within the massive recreation area, Balboa Golf Course and Woodley Lakes Golf Course. Woodley Park is one of the recreation area's sub-areas and home to a 6.5-acre Japanese garden, providing a peaceful setting for relaxation and reflection. Lake Balboa sits on the west side of the recreation area and has boat and bike rentals and a children's playground. Now, the Sepulveda Basin area has some things you might not expect to find in a major city. First, it has an archery range, which is quite unusual for a big city for sure. It's a free public range operated by the City of LA's Department of Recreation and Parks. Perhaps even more unlikely to find in a big city, a velodrome. Encino Velodrome is a 250-meter outdoor concrete track built in 1963, featuring 28-degree banked turns, and it's hosted numerous national championships and Olympic qualification events. How cool is that? The weirdest thing I've seen in the rec area that I'm pretty sure is not allowed in LA parks was some random dude ripping around on an open field on his motorcycle. And the on-duty park rangers who I saw drive by him a couple times didn't say a word. You don't have to be a history buff like me to enjoy this little gem in the heart of Encino. That is the Los Encinos State Historic Park. This 4.7-acre park preserves the historic De La Osa Adobe and Garnier buildings. The park is a glimpse into the area's rich history, once home to the Tongva people, and later a significant site during the Spanish and Mexican periods. It features preserved 19th century buildings, a blacksmith shop, and a natural spring. It's one of those places where you can feel history and enjoy nature. And let me just say, it's one of those hidden in plain sight spots that people drive by all the time without realizing it's here. Now, Encino doesn't offer as much hiking as Sherman Oaks, and it has far less than Studio City. As of this filming, one rugged trail here, Canyon Back Nike Loop, is closed due to the 2025 fires that crept up on the south side of the Santa Monicas and reached the crest at Mandeville Canyon. By the way, the word Nike in the trail name is not about the shoe company, it's about the Cold War Nike missile site, part of a network of 16 Nike missile sites encircling Los Angeles. This site, LA 96C, operated from 1956 to 1968, forming a crucial component of the region's air defense system. For mountain terrain and rewarding valley views, you'll need to hop in your car, and I recommend hitting the trailheads in nearby Woodland Hills or Studio City. Encino is located right along the 101 freeway, making it convenient for getting to Studio City or Sherman Oaks east of here, or Woodland Hills or Calabasas Agora Hills to the west. Now, I know folks who work at UCLA on the west side and live in Encino. They pop down the 405 to get to work. Yes, traffic can be heavy during peak hours, but for the valley, Encino offers a pretty central location. If you work in the LA basin, say Century City or Beverly Hills, and you want more space at home, this is a trade-off a lot of my clients are willing to make. And while the neighborhood isn't as walkable as Venice or West Hollywood, it's increasingly bike and pedestrian friendly. Ventura Boulevard offers plenty of amenities, saving you a long trip to nearly everything. There are no big malls here, so for things like clothes and shopping, mid-lux or luxury goods, you will need to travel a bit. But routine errands like dry cleaning and nights out can be handled within Encino on Ventura Boulevard. There's an ever-busy Whole Foods on Encino's border with Sherman Oaks, and there's a Costco in nearby Van Nuys, and I'm actually going to hit Costco on my way home when we wrap up filming today. Some of the best schools in the LAUSD system are in Encino. Lanai Road Elementary is ranked by Great Schools a 10 out of 10. Academy for Enriched Sciences Elementary Magnet is ranked 10 out of 10 on Great Schools too. And Hesby Oaks, a public charter school, is ranked 9 out of 10. Let's do a quick rundown of the real estate in Encino. Many homes in Encino don't necessarily look massive from the street, but once you step inside or into the backyard, it's a different story. Hidden behind a modest facade might be an entertainer's dream with a pool, outdoor kitchen, and guest house. The real estate market in Encino covers a wide range, but overall it leans towards the higher end. In terms of price points, Encino is generally on par with nearby communities like Studio City, but Tarzana tends to come in lower, and one reason for the difference is the type of housing that's available in each neighborhood. Tarzana typically has a higher share of condo listings, close to 40% of the properties on the market. Studio City, on the other hand, has a lower concentration of condos, and Encino sits somewhere in between. Because condos usually sell for less than single-family homes, areas with a higher mix of condos like Tarzana tend to show lower median prices overall, even though a lot of single-family homes in the area are quite nice. So while you'll find luxury homes in all three neighborhoods, the overall pricing landscape reflects the balance between condos and houses. And in that regard, Encino sits right between the more house-heavy Studio City and the more condo-heavy Tarzana. And by the way, I'll be dropping a video about Tarzana in a few weeks, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you want to check out today's prices on Encino homes for sale, whether it's a condo or luxury property, be sure to check out the links to my website in the show notes below. A lot of folks who like the vibe of Encino also consider living in Sherman Oaks next door. And as fate would have it, I've done a deep dive on it too, so be sure to check out this video about Sherman Oaks and all it has to offer. If you've already decided where to live in LA, or maybe you already live here and are just thinking of selling your house and living somewhere else in SoCal, my team and I would love to be your real estate resource. Just call, email, or text to get started. I'm Tony Mariotti. See you in the next video.